Welcome to Light, Laughter, and Lattes. My name is Geri Habstritt and my co-host, Patty Peterson. We are glad to have you here today. We are both medical intuitives, Avesa quantum healers, and teachers of the Self-Ascension process, and your host for Light, Laughter, and Lattes. And happy Wednesday, everyone. I was going to look up the Ascension numerology for today. I didn't. What is it? It's August 3rd today. Do you know the numerology for today by chance?
No, I
Dang. Okay. Well, anyway, August is the month of 4 of perfect balance. So we have 8/8 Lion's Gate coming up, which is a big moment. And it ties in incredibly well with our topic today, which is attracting abundance. And this is like such a big topic, right, Patty?
very much so. I've done short mini courses on it, and I always tell them we could talk about this for days, weeks. I mean, just there's so much, and I think it's a fun topic, right, Chair? Did you freeze?
And I know everyone thinks about money, right? That's probably the first thing that comes to mind on the subject of abundance is money. Because who doesn't want money, right? You can buy everything you want with money. And well, not everything. You can't emotional things and
Right.
state of living and being. You can't buy that, but you can buy physical things, right, that make you super happy, which I've been doing
which
lately
most
today,
people
and I
think
just
of.
get greedy.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Which most people think of. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's a fun topic in that way, and everything about what we tracked in the way of abundance applies with the ascension process, right? It
Right.
is a direct reflection of our consciousness. And the ascension process is all about consciousness. The truth of who we really are at the core of our being is our personal abundance. And in every way, that's reflected through our monetary paper system, right?
Right. Exactly. Yes. The more we become aware of the abundant spirit we are, the more then we naturally start to have more gratitude, etc., for everything, and we're completely affecting the outer, which it all is about, right? The inner work to reflect the outer.
Absolutely. And I want to just quick idea. I don't know that I welcomed everyone from Oneness Talk Radio, YouTube and Facebook. So if you are here, please jump in the chat, say hi, let us know you're listening. The chat is open and the call lines are open today as well. So if you want to call in, hey, Paulina, glad to see you here. No, not a new live time. Sorry, guys. We decided to jump in early day. We could have pre-recorded, but it's not as much fun. We enjoy having you here live. So rather than pre-recording and scheduling it at a regular time, we decided to just jump on and see what happens. So we're like taking a leap. Sometimes you have to do that.
We so appreciate you showing up to be live with us. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Lacey. So look who is attracted to attracting abundance.
Yes, they're rocking it too. I know. Great.
Yes, absolutely. So, okay. So sorry that I veered off into that, that little episode there, but I want to put the call number in case you want to call in. You can jump in and add your energy and your insights and whatever to the conversation. That would be awesome. Okay. So back to our topic. What I have noticed on my journey when it comes to the form of attracting abundance, and I'm going to call abundance money, things, friends, opportunities, all of that. And it operated different for me at different states of my consciousness. So when I was first starting my journey, and it kind of worked one way. And as I grew in consciousness, the rules of what I had to do to receive changed. So for example, like my first experience when I was waking up, I had a traumatic event happen, a huge traumatic event, right? And because of that traumatic event, I still had a lot of unforgiveness stored in me, a lot of anger stored in me, a lot of those energies that affected my abundance. So you could call it whatever, toxic energies. And those energies are not the truth of who I am. They were just an experience I had, but yet they were still in me. And because I'm the energy generator of what I create, it affected what I was calling and bringing into my life. Would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm wondering, we can expound on sometime when we're cracked open, then the old beliefs that we may have harbored will come to light. These old generational beliefs that we had around money, abundance, any of that, or some of the religious dogmas we've taken on from other lifetimes. So keep going with your story, and we will touch on all of it.
Yeah, no. Agreed, right? And we have those stories largely, those experiences largely for our learning, right? So we can
Absolutely.
move closer to our greater truth and understanding and mastery and ultimately abundance. So oftentimes those experiences are, we're learning what worked, we're learning what didn't work. And at those stages, when I was carrying a lot of that pain, my money reflected. It would go down based on the level of pain I was holding, because my heart was out of balance. I was really out of balance. So I had to be very careful back then that when I gave in balance to what I had. So like I read the book Autobiography of a Yogi, where Paramahansa's advice was to feel comfortable in your purse, right? So
I like it.
that's where
Yeah.
I had to live then, because if I gave too much, then I found myself empty, and I saw that reflection.
Okay.
And then as I would have heart openings and I would forgive more, and I would then of course be able to receive more, then more abundance would come my way, and I started finding a balance around that.
Beautiful.
Go ahead.
I like Paramahansa Yogananda's statement, and it's similar. Reminds me of another mentor, the Seer Al-Amin, saying, "Live with grace within your means." And yet to give with a very open heart, not to hoard, right? We stop the flow. It's all about the flow, and live with grace within your means. I like that too.
Right. And I'm reminded, would you say, about the flow, right? Because that's exactly, if you're holding on to those energies, it is literally reflecting your lack of flow, right? Those energies block your flow. The pain blocks your flow. The unforgiveness blocks your flow. The heart is the giving, receiving. If you're not forgiving, then you're blocking the flow of the blood throughout your body, right?
Right. And a lot of the money abundance issues reflect our first couple chakras too. And when we go to those, traditionally are about, do I feel safe and do I feel supported? So if we're not feeling those, you can see how that would be that block, not the flow through there. As we balance and truly feel safe being in our beingness, that abundant flow goes through those root and sacral chakras to receive and give in balance.
Yeah.
I love how you're saying with the heart, because another one Al-Amin says is, think of money as love. Give freely where you can, and it will return freely.
Right.
Just as we love, right?
Right.
And even as a proxy, giving to a homeless in our mind, that energy from the heart as a proxy to all those who really need, and that's an energy with that too.
Absolutely. And you touched on a couple of things, because this is one thing that I'm still not totally certain about. I was very aware that my money was reflecting the pain or the energies that weren't the truth of me inside of me. And literally I had a lot of money in my savings account because I just went through a divorce. And the more that I was holding on to those energies, the more the money went down, 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 down. No matter what I did, didn't matter how hard I worked, you know,
Mm.
went down,
Mm-hmm.
down, down. I would inadvertently get, you know, I would get overcharged over here. I would not get my money back over here. There would always be something that would happen to me where I was getting taken advantage of, where I was having to pay more than I should have that other people were paying. It was like always this experience of
Mm-hmm.
experience an imbalance in my money
Mm-hmm.
because it was reflecting the imbalance in me.
Right.
But so I was very careful when I gave to give in balance, to not give more than I could, but still to give. But had I been able to just say, even though my energy is like this right now, I'm just going to give freely. Could I let go of worrying? Is it going to come back to me? Am I going to have to work harder? Am I going to have to
That's
move
it.
out of my apartment? You know, could have
That's
I
a good
done
point.
that?
Yes.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
maybe.
Maybe. Right. Many, they take that leap and yes, it shows up, and we've seen that too. And how attached are we to outcomes in any of those situations? If, and that's an opportunity then, I'm giving, is there a subconscious belief? What am I going to get? What am I around that? And so what did you do to discover, Geri, any of those old um, beliefs that we all may have in us? We, through our generations, we all saw patterns in our families, right? How was money looked at? What were the, around it? And then within past lives can show up this way too, especially in this lifetime, this to heal all of that. So were you conscious of that during that time in your life?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So, and I think we all come in to balance whatever consciousness is in our lineage around those
Mm-hmm.
experiences. So, did you, were you born into a lineage where there was victim consciousness, poverty consciousness, where
Mm-hmm.
learn to live without? And maybe some people completely go the opposite. They pop through that and change it right around, right? Or were
Mm-hmm.
you I know people who were born and had everything, but still felt like they had nothing. So they were
Absolutely.
born, right? So they were born
Absolutely.
with I don't even know how to explain it. Is that poverty consciousness? Not the way they lived didn't express that. They had a lot of, big houses, cars, whatever, but they still felt like they never had enough.
That's
So,
it. Right.
right?
So just having that money abundance does not mean they have the spirit abundance. And
Exactly.
money itself can be like an amplifier. Those that have worked with very abundant people, it can amplify who we really are.
Mhm.
And show where are we not in alignment with our truth of our spirit self. And we'll get those opportunities to look at that or not.
Mhm. Right, right. So there's the belief systems where we need to know at the core that we are unlimited, we are abundant, and everything else out there is an illusion. Everything. And everything out there is a reflection of what you got going on inside of you. So you've got your own matrix going, and everyone else has got their own little creation matrix going. And the larger illusion is just a consciousness illusion of what people are falling into right now, which is
Yes.
lack and not enough and competition and right.
Yeah. Right now, especially, where are we focused? What are we listening to? Because you can turn anything on and it's all about the raising interest rates and blah, 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 right? And so if we're so focused on that, what does it bring up in us? What are the feelings? What are the emotions? What are the opportunities to look at that? I had that happen just this week as far as raising car insurance rates, and I noticed what it was doing to my energy, because I wanted to blame them. Now they're saying it's because the used car rates are higher and getting parts are high, and it's like that energy. And to then go within and deal with it from an inner, where am I focused? What do I believe I deserve? Will I take the time then to perhaps shop around? Can I call in a more alignment for me? I don't know. What else do you do, Geri, when those things happen for you?
Well, I first have to step out of that. I always have this deep knowing inside of me that I am the creator of my experience, and there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that I can't create. And so all I have to do is match the frequency, right? Match the frequency of what I want to create, and I'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Mm-hmm.
also, to match the frequency means to be more in your truth, to
Mm-hmm.
constantly say yes, to step out of victim consciousness, to heal those old emotions. And I'm feeling called right now to Franklin in the chat. He's mentioned a
Yeah.
couple of times that he's in a lot of pain and full of emotions right now. And
Mm-hmm.
that is like a key to what we're talking about, right now, is to do the work, Franklin. And maybe you are, because there's so much going on right now. I mean, I know that you and I both, we've been constantly doing the work for 14 years, and we're an onion, and there's layers. And when you get through the layer, you feel better. And then the more that you uplift, there's more to look at. And we're all being called to lift higher and higher and higher, which means there's constantly stuff, right, to heal. And so there's the forgiveness work, the
That's a
just
biggie. Yes,
yeah.
Geri, really, put, because that's my sense here, when you've had a lot of heart pain and there's emotions, is, loving and accepting yourself exactly where you are.
Mhm.
And then, really looking at forgiving ourselves. I did the best whenever with the consciousness, and can we find some positive gift, lesson, growth that came through all the pain, and connecting more with that, to really embody that. Because whether it's whatever area in our life, but even with the money, I think both you and I, Geri, had to, even look at, I felt some judgment on the ways that I spent the money in the past,
Mhm.
right? Or didn't pay close enough attention to certain details, and I had to do a lot of forgiveness there. Because you'll find an old thought come in. If only I had, saved this better. If only I had, and then forgive,
Right.
forgive, forgive,
Right.
and then the opportunity to make new choices. And I hope you're able to be with the emotions and honor them, Franklin. And as Geri said, go into some forgiveness.
Right. Right. Yeah, and that's a big thing, Patty, because we are all so, and I shouldn't say all, but I'm guessing that this applies to everyone. I think I have been really good at judging myself for actions that I've taken or haven't taken,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that self-acceptance is so important. It is
Yeah.
so important to know that you did the best you could, or you would have done differently, right?
That's it.
I've been beating myself up too. Like, I was right there. I could have bought a house years ago. I had the money, the support, and everything, and it's like, why didn't I? Why didn't I? Why didn't I? And now things are happening amazingly. And I'm going to share all that because it ties into your interest rate thing,
Sure.
where it isn't a
Yep.
fixed thing,
That's
So I'm going to add the
that
cool stuff that's
it'll
happened, but we're
right.
not.
That yes. And before the chat moves up too far to see it, if it's kind of tying in, as far as looking at what beliefs that are in us when we're doing that work, what comes, and we'll recognize, I didn't realize. So Angela, I believe you mentioned, about the belief you had to work hard. That's a very common dogma many of us have. Very much me, through my family, and often here, in our society, it's only through hard work until keep connecting and living more from our infinite divine self and in that beingness. And as Geri mentioned, healing the wounds, the flow, that love of the universe comes through us, and we start to go, oh yeah, it's my beingness in balance with doing, but finding those deep dogmas. And that's one, Angela, that I've seen, and it comes up when we do the healing chamber sometime for people. Hard work is the only way.
Yeah, well, I grew up with that one too. Hard work is the only way. Money's not going to just come to you. It's not tied to who the truth of who you are. It's tied to how hard you work at something and how much they pay you for it. Right? So
Mm-hmm.
go get a
Mm-hmm.
job that pays a lot of money. Forget about if you love it or not. That's a quick way to go backwards in many ways, right?
Oh, exactly. Exactly. That's another whole area, right? About the joy. Absolutely. We'd be in service in the joy. Yes. Okay.
The joy is our truth, right? So
Yes.
it's funny how society has it so backwards that way. You're better off doing something that pays very little that brings you complete joy, because that joy is just going to be a cascade of events
Yes.
that'll eventually get you everything.
Right. Yes. Whatever it is, we're in service to doing. I remember Zadkiel even saying about being, the janitor, the happiest janitor that's so in balance with who he is in service. And there's another question in the chat there, Jared. Did you want to see that one?
Oh, I didn't see it. Go ahead, Patty. What is it?
What is your means of prosperity, your service? Please share.
Oh, so my means, well, it's fascinating because it's really fascinating. I've got a few outlets. So I work with Oneness Talk Radio, this radio station. I'm the production manager for it. I also substitute teach when I'm not doing work as a healer. And so I also have my own practice as a medical intuitive out of my apartment. And then I also have owned some shares of hotels with my ex-husband that I'm still in a LLC with. But those checks only come, and they always come at key times. They don't come when I'm not in flow. Matter of fact, they'll completely stop for an
That's
entire
exactly
year.
Yep, I witnessed this with Geri. So with everything that she said before, with her energy, that amount coming from the hotels was reflective of, right, Geri?
Every time, and it
Yes.
makes me laugh, because literally, if I'm called the energy in and I'm ready, like let's say I've said yes to an experience that my soul is calling me to. For example, my soul was calling me to Bali, and every part of me went, "Oh no, this is $2,000, and I'm going here and I'm going there, and I got this and this, and am I going to go alone?" But my soul was calling me. The minute I put the money down and bought the trip, it's like abundance came to me, but I didn't get to receive it. So I had like 4 checks for these hotels that literally showed up to the person who was supposed to give them to me. But for whatever reason, that person forgot about them, didn't send them, had a million excuses. And then when I went there and I did massive healing, lifted in consciousness, had Kundalini rising, I come home and all these checks show up, a flood of them, like $15,000 worth, and this is what will happen. They literally will reflect what I'm calling in. And if I'm holding on to the energy, they'll sit there. As soon as I've had a release and accepted more and there's more flow, then they'll come
And that
in.
acceptance, that you talk about is honoring, the way I see it, and and this might apply to the question before with Franklin, is knowing our worth.
Yes.
All of our deservingness and our worth is around how much can we receive. And so what I witness sometimes is, we can receive to this amount, because that just is all as much as we can really see from where we're at that time. But what about beyond that? And I like how Batya mentions, random checks, when those things happen. My sisters would say to me, Patty, you always get magic money. And this was even before I really was, in consciousness around being the co-creator. And yet I grew up with this belief, even though there was a lot of poverty consciousness, the belief my mother always had was God will provide. And it's not that you sit on the couch, but she had that happen. She raised 13 children, and she knew when things got thin, God would provide and miracles would always show up. And so, even with levels of consciousness, what are some of those inner beliefs? So I always carried that, and I have been. Surprise checks from the IRS will show up sometime. You never know. you never know. Yeah, things, I mostly make my living through my holistic healing, that Geri mentioned earlier. I'm a medical intuitive. And yet, having been widowed, I get to receive something from my late husband. And so being open to whatever ways we can receive, and multiple ways is often really a healthy, positive thing. And it's not always even money, right, Chair? I mean, I have clients who will bring me fresh vegetables from their garden. They bring gifts. They'll bring abundance, of love, abundance, that we're open to all of this. And such gratitude.
Okay. So we misunderstood Pauline a little bit.
Okay.
That's
yes.
okay. Glad to have an interactive show. Anyways, yeah, there are so many belief systems around money. It's crazy. Like when we do our clearing in the healing chamber, I mean, right, good people don't go to, or rich people don't go to heaven, right?
Yeah, a rich man won't get into heaven. Yep.
And right, you got to work hard for everything.
Money is the root of all evil.
Yes. Or fear of success.
Yes.
That was something I had to have cleared from me, was a fear of success. I mean, as funny as that sounds, like it's too good to be true.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. We don't know what went on in some of our consciousness, our past lives, our lineage that can be anchoring that. So not to judge some of these beliefs that come up and go, oh my gosh, I guess, if I have a fear of success, what might, I might be really seen, and then blah, 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 whatever.
Right. Or if I really succeed, how will I handle all of this good fortune? Will I still have friends? Am I expected to provide for all these family members? And right, all the things that come with people maybe who won the lottery.
Yes. So we all have some of these old congested energies around beliefs in our being, in our bodies, and ego, self, and recognizing that where they're at, and then saying, okay, am I done with this? And by what choices we're taking, what steps we're taking to be done with it.
Right. I would say for someone who's just first listening to this, because it's really more than the law of attraction. It's beyond that. Do the heart work. Open the heart and bring it into balance with your power and stay in balance. That's a biggie. And then, like you mentioned, the root is our abundance of spirit. So go out there if you can in a way that would bring you joy and be of service. I mean, if you want to go stand in the food line in town and hand out meals, or whatever way that would bring you joy to serve and help people who have less than, makes you feel so abundant, and it gives security around that root chakra, which makes you feel really good. And that good feeling that you have about your ability to give will not only bring you peace, but that helps your whole entire body. That actually is what cradles the Kundalini, so the really truth of you can rise up. So that does a number of things.
Absolutely. Yes. Serving in that way really helps out those lower chakras. I think maybe check the line, Geri.
Is there someone that has called?
I think
in?
She decided call in to take.
Yes. Yeah. Oh gosh, there's two people. I am so sorry. Okay. No one's called in for a while, so let me see if I can do this absolutely right. Okay, there we go. Hello, are you there? Let me see. This would be from Winnipeg. Is there a caller from Winnipeg? Crozier? Jay Crozier? No? Okay, let's try. Or let's try this. Hello? Are you there? Is there a caller from Winnipeg there? Nope. Okay, so I could be doing this wrong. Okay, how about, is there an unknown caller? Hello?
Oh, darn it. That was probably Angela in Winnipeg.
Oh, probably. Okay, who am I
He
talking
might be
to?
having connection problems if she didn't speak. So.
Oh, okay. So who do we have the pleasure with speaking now?
This is Pauline.
Oh, Pauline.
How I asked that. I didn't expect you to give all the details of it. I just wanted you guys to like tell. I assumed it was just that your holistic practices because you would never, you know, promote yourself. And it's hard. I gather you don't love to do that. I figured I'd be the one to talk to you to give us. And I've never heard Patty even. I'm just both of you. I've never heard really say that much, except for like once I think I saw Asia mention she's been doing sessions or she did sessions, and I was curious, and that's why I decided to ask what you guys do. I know some of it's Sheree and Karen. You guys you learned some of it, but some of it you also have nothing to do with what you learned with Kira and Sheree. So I just wanted to know what you guys offer. I went to your website, but I'm not sure I found Patty's. I just knew I found Geri. So that was interesting. But I forgot already what I saw on there, so I just figured maybe there's a new updated version. That's why I asked. And then I figured I'd contribute, but did you hear me?
Yeah, we're just letting you talk or finish.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
It's like the first chance you guys opened it up. It's been quite a while since anybody's opened up the line, so that's why it wasn't really available from what I saw. So yeah, but one of the comments I sort of was wondering is, I know some of it is us, but I do believe, and I don't know if I'm a victim or not, but I do believe there are people out there who also are blocking. When you tell something that you want to do, they're jealous, and then they sort of put blockers in front of you. I never believed that at first, but now, and I know now we're not supposed to be in the victim mode, so I'm wondering how do I guess it doesn't really matter if there are people trying to block me. If I just stay in that high vibe, it'll happen, and maybe it won't happen as fast as I'd like it to be because I do have people blocking me. But when the time is right, and I guess when the earth, and the cosmos is, contributing to breaking down all that darkness or whatever we want to call it, that it will happen when it's supposed to happen. So. What do you think of that? What I just said.
Well, so there's a few things, and then I'll let Patty add too. Your energy is everything, so you attract based on what you're watching, what you're connecting to, who your friends are, who you hang around with. As much as what you have in your house, what you eat. And there are going to be people out there everywhere you go who are going to be jealous that you have more. They're going to be, not wanting you to succeed because they want to feel good about themselves. There's going to be people who just downright, maybe for whatever reason, they're frumpy, grumpy, and they're just going to have that energy that's lower frequency that is not going to serve your highest manifestation.
They're usually judging themselves and hard on themselves in fear if they're projecting. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to project at you. So it's always good to wear protective things, malas and things like that help lift your vibration up so you attract better. And it's always good to do exercises as well to clear your energy so that you're clearing those projections away. And it's funny because I have just a little story around this. Yesterday, when Patty said, let's do this on abundance. Well, at the very same time, I was working out with these hotels that I mentioned in the deal I had with my ex-husband. And his energy is in a very different place. And we usually have a mediator that will talk between us. So if I have an issue, I go to the mediator. And so I haven't had to connect with him for like a year. And we decided to have a new mediator and have a new experience. And so there was a point where I needed to talk to him, but I could have gone through this middleman to talk to him, which felt kinder. I hadn't connected with his energy for a while. And I thought, oh, what the heck? I'm just going to do it. So I send him a text. And I'm looking at it thinking, I wonder how long it is before he'll pick up the text and read it right away. Immediately, I felt his energy. Immediately, it was a sharp tingle energy that I hadn't felt for years. And I was blown away of the immediacy of just connecting with someone whose frequency was much different than mine. And I didn't think of anything, and I'm going on my day creating, and all of a sudden I'm getting a little angry and I'm getting impatient, and I'm thinking, what on earth is going on? This isn't me. I love to do this. And I had a message yesterday that I was supposed to get this item from Amazon. It was supposed to come today. They had it. It was coming today. I was all excited for it. And while I was feeling frumpy grumpy, I go to look in my email. I get a message from Amazon. I'm sorry, but there's been a delay. You're not going to get it for another month. And I went, no. I knew that this wasn't true. So I got up and I did the container practice, pulled the cards of clarity. I got a message that I need to do some spiritual practices. Later on that day, I got a message back from Amazon. Oh, guess what? We're still sending your product now tomorrow. And so this is a reminder. I know Sheree and Kira have the same story with them trying to buy a house. And that's when they were showing the container practice and then after they did the practice, all of a sudden everything fell in place. But it was a really reminder about how everyone's energy literally affects us. And we need to be so, if you want to, you just have to use a lot of discernment and clear and lift yourself as much as possible. Okay, Patty.
Yeah, I'm not sure I heard everything real clearly, but I do, witness when within myself and my clients, soon as, we balance the energy, do some clearing and that deeper connection to who we really are, that infinite essential self, they leave here and I get stories of abundance flowing in their lives. It's so beautiful. Sometimes it's so immediate, sometimes it takes a little while, but it does take that consistent dedication that you are worth it, that we are, as Geri shared, all the discernments, being more clear. And as we do that too, that natural, hopefully, gratitude arises. I love again how a mentor said, if you want a castle, be very grateful for the home you have. That anything that shows up, there's days where, I'll just practice that deeper. You make your cup of coffee. Thank you, universe, for this cup of coffee. And that flow too, to anchor more of that natural, such presence and gratitude for everything, because everything in our life is what we've brought in, right? So if that makes sense.
Right.
But if you're open to remote sessions, both Geri and I offer that, and that helps some people get through and help a different perspective to see.
Yeah.
What we may not see.
Yeah, Pauline. So well, I'll answer that better. Both Patty and I are trained through the Avesa School of Quantum Healing. And so we both offer those modalities that Sheree and Kira teach. So we both do medical intuitive sessions where we scan people's energy field and bring them through practices to get at the core of what's being their issue or whatever they want healing on. We do balances, distance, and in person to help open up that field, clear it, expand it, lift it into their higher state of consciousness. And then the Atlantean healing chamber that we talked about, going through and clearing out those dogmas and belief systems around money and abundance. And I know Patty does quantum clairvoyant readings, ascended numerology, soul charts. So all of those things, cosmic life regression, right? Bring me to the place where I first started this poverty consciousness and help me release it there, right? So that would be an example for the topic that we're on now. So anyways, those are all things that we do. And thank you for calling in. Patty, can you think about, is anything coming to your mind right now?
Not specifically. The areas I kind of thought we should touch on.
Okay.
We're brought forward.
So
had any questions?
I will say that my monetary abundance, and not only my monetary abundance, but I've been working on buying a house and other things that I've wanted in my life too are a direct reflection of my consciousness journey and a direct reflection at my level to say yes to my soul. So as I continue to say yes to every upliftment, more and more and more comes to me. And the law of instant manifestation gets more profound. And that's where I wanted to share, when you talked about the interest rates. So I'm this past week, I've been just immersed lately in, okay, I'm going to buy a house. And I'm watching all of these apartments coming up around. So my belief system, and I used it to create, was, okay, well, the rates in town go around because there's more supply and less demand. And I looked at a house a day earlier and thought, this thing is $30,000 too much. They need to lower it 30,000. So I come back to my computer, I go on, I got a message, that exact house is on there. They lowered it $30,000. So I went over and looked at the house, and there was some offers on it, and it like sold for $325,000, which was a huge belief. So then my belief system and thought was, okay, well, townhouses are going to have to come down now if I can actually buy a house less than a townhouse. So I come back to my computer again, 2 or 3 townhouses dropped $30,000-$40,000. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get something. And I'm watching me have this experience of everything I'm thinking about. So then I get a message from my loan, the person I'm getting the loan through. He's, Geri, the Fed just raised the rates 3/4 last week, 0.75. And I could have gone into fear around that, thinking my money was worth less. But I said the opposite. I said, no, there is a way. There is a way to do everything. There's different kinds of loans you can get. And I'm like, whatever, I'm going to get the best rate possible. Next day, I get a email from my loan officer. He says, Geri, you're not going to believe this, but the loan you're looking at, you can get a house for 3.8% right now. And I just went, OMG. So truly, don't buy into what's out there, right? You're a creator. You're a creator.
Yep.
Maybe everyone else is going to have the experience of high rates and not getting what they want and less than and hoarding food and not being at the right place at the right time. But that doesn't need to be your experience. You can create whatever you want.
Yeah, really watching the words that come from us and then underneath. When we feel often, an uncomfortable feeling or something, we know then there's an imbalance with what we're believing and what we're seeing, and gives us the opportunity to go into looking for that. So beautiful, beautiful sharing.
Right. So there's so many things around abundance, and this 8/8 Lions Gate that's coming up is like an opportunity for everyone to receive their true abundance, because this is the lion roars moment. The lion steps out of the woods, meaning I am receiving power. I am receiving my truth. That is direct correlation with your abundance. And that is your soul saying, are you ready to lift more? When you say yes to that, you're saying yes to your soul. You're saying yes to your abundance. You're saying yes to instant manifestation. So that's all, that's all in alignment. And there's so many other things too, like we shared, the keeping your energy field clear, being careful who you're around, be careful what you're saying, what's coming out of your mouth, right? And all the belief systems, and I've seen people who have just completely let go. And that's something that's worked for me. Like, okay, if every day is a gift, what if I just let go and buy whatever I want and not worry about any of it? And what if I just give freely? I had a girlfriend come to me, not a girlfriend, a client, a few weeks ago, and she said, I've been just giving freely lately, and it comes back 100-fold. She said, I had a girlfriend.
It's from that open heart feeling, right? It's
Yes.
from that open heart. That's joy, that creativity. That's the abundant flow.
Right. The knowing that I'm
Yeah.
so abundant that
Surrender.
I can just give freely, and then the universe like gives it back to you because you're abundant, right? You've claimed it by giving it.
And we may, and don't have expectations on ways it comes back, because it can be the most
Right.
surprising. And like I said, maybe not in money. It's that, yes, it all comes back. Energy balance. Absolutely. Can we close with showing the container practice? She's asking.
Oh, yes, we can. Yeah. And it's funny because that's the practice that Zato brought in to show Shri and Kira how to clear their fields, and they received the house. And I'm getting my little Nespresso pods from Amazon. Coffee's important.
Oh, that was used as an exchange at one time, wasn't it?
Coffee?
Way back. Coffee beans. Yeah.
Okay. So container. Do you want to teach it, Patty?
Sure.
Okay.
So we begin with your left hand out. Left hand is our receiving side, a more feminine side, and command in the crystalline light. Feel that, sense it, know it. When you command, you claim, it's there. There you go.
Yeah, I like it. We're pulling in a stream of light right now. Whoa, guys, is everyone
just
doing
like
this?
I felt it.
Feel this.
You're powerful. You're powerful. And that flows through to your right hand. Your right hand is like a catcher's mitt, and you hold it up facing kind of by your sixth here, and really state and claim any energies I'm carrying, not for my highest good. Thank you, I love you, because that's the blessing, right? Thank you, I love you. You start from your crown, duck my head here, and sweep forward over all your chakras, your center of your chakras, all the way to the traditional root, pubic bone, and then send it off to the TOSA container, TOSA, temple. And there you go. One more time, perhaps. There. I feel that. There you go. Know that it's going to an earthen container, and that energy doesn't die. It's being transmuted into a higher vibe. You can specifically use things. This anger I'm feeling right now, thank you, I love you. Really claim the gift and then send it off. Practice that.
And you're going to want to, when you bring your hand down to your root chakra, you want to keep it down there and give it a shake while it's low. And send it off. Here. Image the TOSA container. If you want to make your own container, you can, out of earthen materials.
Right. And it would require a little ceremony to transmute it. Yeah. And so if you want to know more, do contact us. We can send you more there. All right.
Well, do we have anything more to share around abundance? Or have we covered it all? Should we do a little card reading, or do you have your cards, Patty, that you were using?
No,
before?
I just have my other ones, my elfin. I love my elfin.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to pull one of those, and I can pull a card?
What do we need to hear today? What do I need to hear today? What is in our highest good? What is in our highest good to hear today? Here we go. And these beautiful cards come with an angel god and a sigil. And there it is. And Exata Krusana is the angel god. Nature is a state of being inherent to the psyche of man. To become a stranger to nature is to separate from yourself. In an attempt to assuage the pain of alienation, addictions arise. Take time to commune with nature that you may remember the natural man within. And that brings forward, Geri, that's one thing that really amplifies my abundance feeling is when we're in nature.
Right.
The air, the clouds, the leaves, the grains of sand. Oh my gosh, there's abundance everywhere. The more we see abundance outward, we'll start to feel more within.
Right. Well, that's a reminder, because one of the cards in the cards of clarity around abundance actually is about go out to nature and see the abundant planet, the universe, all that is given to you abundantly. The leaves on the trees, the flowers, it's all there, part of creation, right? Okay. So, and what I picked is, birth. We're all having a rebirth right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I love the rebirth card because I I love rebirthing and I love babies. So and they've been everywhere lately. Okay. Benevolent ones, 3, birth. Out of
Coming
the
out of the
womb and into the world you have come. Whether this experience is painful or joyful, you are being called to acknowledge the joy of being here now. If pain is present in your life or those around you in any form, then know that it is your time to transcend it. Pain will cease when you acknowledge the gift it is offering to you. Birth yourself through this experience and ask the pain what it is teaching you. As you learn through this birthing process, the joy that is your truth will come forward. Your newborn beingness is ready to enter the world as the gift that you were born to be.
Isn't that perfect for us today? Yes.
I believe we talked about the pain. Yes, we did. We talked about that.
Yes, transcending, finding the gift.
Yep.
Exactly. Yes, and then
Absolutely.
being the joy. Joy is our birthright, and that is the attractor. Love
Yeah.
and joy.
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you. This was a joy having you all jump in and join the show. It was so much fun.
It was. It was a very fun day. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll put a link above in Facebook and below on YouTube for where you can all get the information to join us all on 8/8 Lions Gate, because it's an important moment and that will certainly assist your abundance. And I hope you all have a fabulous week. Namaste.
Okay. Thank you.